a boy named Alex finds a strange mythical creature with extraordinary healing abilities living in his grandfather's shed. As news of the creature spreads, researchers start looking for it to exploit its abilities. Before it's too late, Alex finds a home for the creature, but on his way back to meet his family, a lion stands in his way of getting back alive. Before the day, a man named Quinn finds some clues that lead him to a mythical creature called Chupacabra. As he and his team of researchers find the animal in a cave, Quinn is intrigued by how it looks. He also now feels vindicated because no one used to believe him when he said the creature was real. While he goes close to the creature, he and his team hear screeching sounds at the top of the cave. As they look up, it turns out that there's an older Chupacabra in the cave. After a while, Quinn gets a close look at the bigger creature, but before he can do anything, it throws him across the cave, after which it runs away with the baby Chupacabra. Quinn immediately shoots a flare in its direction, and it injures the creature, but it's still able to run away. Seeing this, Quinn runs into his car as he says he can't let the animal escape. Luckily, he remains on the creature's tail, but as it takes a different direction, his car gets stuck. While he's then struggling to move his car, the Chupacabras run into the road and get hit by a moving car. This damages the front part of the car and causes its number plate to fall off. The older Chupacabra also gets hurt, but still picks up his baby and heads away. However, Quinn and his men are now getting closer to them. With this, the older Chupacabra decides to sacrifice himself so that the baby won't be harmed. Following this, he runs away and gets Quinn and his people to follow him so that his baby will be safe. Days later, Alex sits alone during lunch at school. Despite this, a bully still comes over to joke about Alex's lunch and how he keeps eating bad food. After school that day, Alex gets home and sees that his mom is preparing another local Mexican meal for dinner. He sounds really pissed about it, especially as his mom also mentions that he'll have to go to Mexico soon. Alex says he doesn't want to go anywhere, but his mom says his dad saved all the money he had just to be able to send his son to see where he came from. Despite this, Alex still doesn't seem interested. When he's alone in his room later that day, he stares at his father's picture. While he's at it, his mom then comes in and sees him. Alex says he misses his dad a lot, and his mom says the same too. She then mentions that Alex's dad, Beto, would have joined his son on the trip to Mexico if he hadn't died from cancer. She also encourages Alex to go on the trip, and he finally agrees. The next day, Alex goes to Mexico, and as he arrives at the airport, he meets his grandfather, Chava, who takes his grandson to his ranch. On the way, Chava notices that Alex doesn't understand Spanish, and he asks why. Alex then mentions that he never really thought he needed it. Chava tells him not to think like that because it's part of his heritage, and he should always be proud of it. As they keep moving, Chava also mentions that Alex looks so much like Beto, but the boy doesn't say anything as he keeps playing his game. Shortly after, they arrive at Chava's ranch, where Alex immediately meets one of his cousins, Memo, who has come from the city to be with him. Chava instructs Memo to show him around, and after he does that, Alex finally gets to the room where he'll be staying. While he's in there, he hears someone singing outside the window, and as he checks, it turns out to be his other cousin, Luna. As she sees him, she introduces herself and welcomes him to Mexico. Much later, when Alex goes downstairs to stay with his cousins, Memo grabs him and knocks him to the ground while asking him to surrender. Alex doesn't know what's happening, but Luna tells him that Memo is just a big fan of a type of wrestling called lucha libre. As Alex asks what it is, his cousins play a tape to show him more details about the sport, which his grandfather happens to be a legend. Alex is shocked by this, and Luna then mentions that Chava only stopped fighting because a dirty fighter named the Chacal gave him a fracture that sent him into a coma for a while. As they're then about to watch Chava beating up the Chacal in one of the old clips, their grandfather shows up and switches off the TV. Memo sounds disappointed by this, but Chava says he doesn't like to see the Chacal. Alex then tells his grandfather that he never knew he was a wrestler, but Chava says it was a long time ago. Shortly after, while checking the goats on Chava's farm, Luna suddenly notices that one of the goats is sick. As they check the bite marks, which only indicate that the goat's blood was partially drained, Luna and Memo say it's likely the work of a Chupacabra. Alex asks what it is, and they tell him that it's a mythical creature that feeds on the blood of goats. While they discuss this, Chava then says Chupacabras are not real. As they then go inside, Alex takes a closer look at the goat and sees that the bite marks are healing on its own. Elsewhere, Quinn is visited by a man named Taylor, who is the spokesperson for the people sponsoring the search for a Chupacabra. Taylor mentions that his bosses are getting impatient since Quinn hasn't had luck in finding the creature. Quinn says he has got a feather as proof. However, Taylor says the feather doesn't prove anything and that Quinn should find the Chupacabra as fast as he can. According to Taylor, Quinn promised to find the creature so that the blood can be used to develop drugs that have healing capabilities. Before he leaves, Taylor tells Quinn that if he doesn't find the creature in a week, he'll lose all his sponsors. That night, Alex sees Chava secretly leaving the house with a music box. Alex follows him and also watches as Chava sits down and starts playing the music box inside his shed. While Alex is outside, he suddenly sees a creature moving through the grasses. Suddenly, he shouts for help, and as Chava and his cousins come over to meet him, he says he saw a Chupacabra. However, they see only a rabbit around, and this gets his cousins to laugh at him. While Memo and Luna then return inside, Chava appears to have zoned out. As Alex touches him, Chava returns to reality and refers to his grandson as Beto. However, Alex tells him he's not Beto. As he then sees an injury on Alex's hand, Chava offers to help him clean it inside. The next morning, Alex wakes up only to see the Chupacabra licking his wound. He immediately screams, and this gets the creature to run out of the room. Memo quickly checks on Alex, but he says he only had a nightmare. Just then, he checks his hand and sees that his wound is healing rapidly. He checks out the window to see if the animal is around, but he only finds Luna sitting on the roof. She then calls him to join her in setting off some fireworks. While they're at it, Memo comes over to inform them that Chava is missing. Alex doesn't understand this, but Luna says that Chava sometimes forgets things and wanders off. Shortly after, she gets into Chava's old car, after which she tells Memo and Alex that they need to find their grandfather. Alex asks why she can't just call her mom, but Luna says she'll take Chava away from the ranch and that it's not what their grandfather wants. Following this, they head into the city to look for their grandfather. Elsewhere, Quinn and his people continue their research on the road the Chupacabra was last seen. After a while, they find the number plate of the car that hit the creature when it jumped into the road. Meanwhile, Memo, Luna, and Alex eventually find Chava walking on the road. Chava says he was only taking a walk, and when he's asked about the goat he's holding, he says he just bought it. As they're then on the way home, they see Quinn's men on the road and wonder what they're looking for. Shortly after, Quinn speaks to a police officer about his Chupacabra research. However, the officer laughs at him, and Quinn is not too pleased with this. He then shows the officer a Chupacabra's claw, which gets him to finally agree to help. After arriving home, the kids watch a TV report on Chupacabras. Chava then turns it off and tells the kids not to watch it because the creature is not real. As he walks away, Luna says she's worried about Chava's health, but Alex says he thinks their grandfather only seems worried because he's hiding a Chupacabra. Luna laughs it off and leaves, but Alex then takes Chava's music box and heads to the shed. After a while, the Chupacabra shows up, and Alex can't believe his eyes. The creature appears to be friendly, and Alex goes to bring it some food. While he's having fun with the creature, the sound of lightning suddenly scares the Chupacabra, but Alex keeps it calm. Alex sleeps off and eventually wakes up in the morning, only to see Memo asking what's wrong with him. Suddenly, Memo hears a strange sound and says he needs to look around because it could be a Chupacabra. Alex tries to keep him away, but Memo seems really focused on his search. Luckily, the Chupacabra hides before Memo can find it. However, as he gives up and is about to leave, the creature shows up again and leaves Memo shocked. While he then wonders what it is, Alex says it's a Chupacabra. Almost immediately, Luna also enters the shed and screams as she sees the creature. However, Alex gets her to remain calm because the Chupacabra won't hurt her. As the three of them then think of what to do, Alex suggests giving it a name. Luna is not in support of it, and she says that since it has wings, she expects it to be able to fly to meet his family. Since the creature can't fly yet, Memo offers to teach him. Alex also names the creature Chupa. He also mentions that they have to take care of it. As they're talking, Chava comes in and says Alex is right. It then turns out that he always knew about the creature. He also tells the kids to keep it a secret. As they ask how he found it, he shows them his damaged car and mentions how he unknowingly hit the animal. He also adds that he found the baby Chupacabra when he returned to look for what hit his car. Alex says they need to get Chupa back to his family, but Chava says that even though he has been looking for them, he hasn't had any luck. Shortly after, Chupa tries to attack a goat, but Alex and the others are able to caution him to stop. When they return inside, Chava sees a car headed for his ranch. He immediately goes outside and sees Quinn, who mentions that he only came because a missing number plate led him to Chava. Quinn then asks if Chava has seen anything, but he says he hasn't. He also warns Quinn to leave his property, and as he does so, he tells his partner that he thinks Chava is hiding something. Following this, the kids ask if Quinn came for Chupa, but Chava tells them he'll never give up the creature. Much later, while Alex spends time with Chupa, Memo comes over and says he needs to teach him how to fly. Following this, he takes over Chupa's training, and after a while, the creature appears to learn how to fly gradually. Shortly after, Alex watches a lucha libre fight with Chava. While at it, Chava has high praise for one of the fighters, who he says was better than him. Alex says it's impossible, but Chava then brings out a mask and tells his grandson that Beto was the young fighter. This leaves Alex shocked, but he just keeps playing his game. Chava doesn't seem to get this, especially because he has noticed that Alex only plays his game when his father's case is brought up. Chava then confronts Alex and tells him that he needs to get rid of his fear and accept what happened to his father. Chava also challenges him into a fight, and even though Alex thinks it's a bad idea, he has no choice but to fight. Chava expectedly beats Alex, but when his grandfather gets distracted, he pushes him to the ground. This gets Chava sick, and a doctor is called to check on him. After administering an injection, the doctor tells the kids to let Chava rest. On his way out, he hears Chupa screaming, but the kids say it's a sick cow. After he then leaves, they go out to check on Chupa. Surprisingly, they find Quinn inside the shed, trying to shoot Chupa. The kids try to stop him, but he pushes them away and shoots Chupa with a mild sedative, after which he carries the creature to his car. The kids are left annoyed by this, and Alex quickly goes to call on Chava. Unfortunately, Chava doesn't remember anything, but Alex then tells him that the Chacal is in the house. This gets Chava to change into his wrestling kit, after which he goes to attack Quinn. Following this, they all enter Quinn's car and leave him behind. After a while, Chava slowly remembers what's happening, and the kids ask him to take them to where he first encountered the Chupacabra. He says he doesn't know, but Chupa seems to remember, and he starts running towards a hill with Alex immediately following him. Elsewhere, Quinn calls on his team to pick him up at Chava's house. Following this, he leads them on the chase to find Chava and his grandkids. Meanwhile, Chupa keeps running until he gets to a place with a big ditch in front of him. As he then howls loudly, Alex wonders what Chupa is doing. However, he's shocked when he hears another howl coming from the other side of the ditch. Alex then looks sad because he'll have to let Chupa leave. They eventually say their goodbyes, after which Chupa climbs a huge pipe to get to the other side to meet his family. Elsewhere, Quinn sees Chava with Memo and Luna while they're trying to find Alex and Chupa, so he follows them. Meanwhile, Alex decides to return to meet his family, but a lion suddenly appears before him. This gets Alex really scared, so he climbs on the huge pipe to slowly get away. Unfortunately, the animal also climbs the pipe and weakens it. As it's about to pounce on Alex, Chava arrives and scares the animal away. However, Alex now finds it hard to climb back down. As he takes a step, parts of the pipe break off, and he screams for help. Luckily, Chupa hears him and returns to help. However, the pipe can't hold on for too long, and Alex falls while holding on to Chupa. Before he lands on the ground, Chupa saves him by flying back up, and Chava is relieved to see his grandson still alive. As Chupa is then about to return home, Quinn shows up and shoots him down again with a sedative. He also threatens to hurt Chava and his grandkids if they stop him. With this, he takes Chupa away while Alex and his family wonder how they can save the Chupacabra. Interestingly, before Quinn can get too far, bigger Chupacabras attack his car. He, however, manages to escape with Chupa, but before he can run away, Chava sneaks up behind him and hits him with a lucha libre move that knocks him down. With this, Chupa is free, and Alex says goodbye again before letting him leave. Following this, Chava then takes the kids home. Days later, Alex prepares to leave Mexico, and Luna says she's sad he's leaving. He says he also feels the same way, though he promises to be back. She then gives him a tape containing some Mexican songs. She also hands him her earphones so he can listen to them on the plane. Shortly after, he heads outside to put his things inside Chava's car. As he opens the boot, Memo jumps out and attacks him, but this time, Alex shows his moves and doesn't surrender. They then say their goodbyes, and on the way to the airport, Alex says some Spanish words to Chava, who is impressed. He then tells his grandson to always be proud of his heritage. A while later, they arrive at the airport, and as they're saying their final goodbyes, Chava tells Alex not to forget everything that happened over the past few days, and he says he won't. After he enters the plane, Alex starts hearing the songs Luna prepared for him. Shortly after, he then sees Chupa flying next to his window. Alex looks happy to see this and continues watching Chupa until he disappears.